Shui Zhi Sacred Throne, you're overestimating yourself? Xiao Yan chuckled lightly, and the numerous sacred flame origins from the three women danced freely above his hands, transforming into fiery light pillars that charged directly at his opponent. At this moment, Xiao Yan possessed nearly 17 sacred flames, and combined with his flame control technique and 8th reincarnation stage power, his combat strength reached a terrifying level. Under the 9th reincarnation stage, he was almost invincible. Boom! Countless black, evil water pillars surged from the heavenly river and bombarded the 3 reincarnation light tombs, their power overwhelming. Whoosh! Even when Xiao Yan unleashed all his sacred flame origins to intercept the attack, the sacred flames strangely passed right through the evil water pillars without stopping them. This is bad. Seeing this strange scene, Xiao Yan's heart sank. His speed increased dramatically, and the sacred flames around him flared even brighter. If Shui Zhi's sacred throne broke through the 3 reincarnation light tombs, the 3 women and 3 reincarnators would be facing a very dangerous situation. The evil water pillars, blocking Xiao Yan's attack, relentlessly surged toward the reincarnation light tombs. But just as they were about to strike, the tomb's surroundings pulsed strangely, causing the space to tremble. Suddenly, the attack disappeared without a trace. The Triad Coexistence formation didn't obstruct Xiao Yan and his companions, who bore reincarnation and sacred flames, but it proved quite hostile against the evil forces. This profound defense wasn't something that just anyone could break through. Lord, the one before us is Xiao Yan, the leader of the Endless Flame Alliance. With just the power of our Shui Zhi sacred clan, it will be difficult to capture him. To ensure success, we should quickly call upon the other 2 lords. Xiao Yan has killed many of our extraterritorial experts, angering the leader of the extraterritorial realm and the higher-ups. Don't let your eagerness for success make you miss this opportunity. In the dark tunnel behind the heavenly river, a sinister voice sounded. With so many sacred flame origins, if Xiao Yan fully merged them and unleashed their power, even Shui Zhi's sacred throne would likely struggle. Ridiculous. With just the 8th reincarnation stage, do you think you can erase me? Thousands of demonic spirits, heed my command. Seal the space. Once I capture him, the leader of the extraterritorial realm will reward our clan. At that point, the leaders of the sacred clan will surely look upon us in a new light. Ignoring the evil shadow's persuasion, Shui Zhi's sacred throne sneered, glaring at Xiao Yan with a ferocious expression, his murderous intent surging. In the void, the mountains and peaks, an endless tide of evil energy poured out, enveloping the entire world in darkness. In this black night void, Xiao Yan and the 3 reincarnation tombs stood out like beacons. The black river still hung suspended in the sky, with Shui Zhi's sacred throne standing atop it, exuding a kingly air. Just as I expected. Seeing his opponent so arrogant, Xiao Yan relaxed slightly. Since breaking through to the 8th reincarnation stage, he hadn't had a real battle. Now, Shui Zhi's sacred throne would undoubtedly become the perfect test. As night fell and the space was sealed, Xiao Yan's sacred flames began to stir like an agitated divine beast, becoming more ferocious. The sacred aura within him clashed with the evil power, creating a tense stalemate. Is it raining? Xiao Yan looked up and noticed countless eerie black dots appearing in the strange void, each containing an inexplicable destructive power. Fixating on the black dots, he saw them slowly forming into a dark beam, neatly and orderly spreading across the sky. Realizing the significance of what was happening, Xiao Yan's eyes widened. The black dots and beams grew larger and larger, and within moments, the entire world was covered by a massive black net formed from the evil rays and dots. Xiao Yan, this is a death gift specially prepared for you. Seeing Xiao Yan frozen in place in the void, Shui Zhi's sacred throne's sinister smile echoed across the world. Is this a combat technique combining water attributes and evil energy, somewhere between semi-divine and quasi-divine levels? As more and more evil black dots and death rays formed the heaven-shaking water curtain and water net around him, Xiao Yan's 8 sacred flame origins in his hands grew increasingly restless. Waves of heat surged from them, slamming into his body. Since that's the case, let's see how the fusion of 17 sacred flames fares. 17 sacred flames nearly accounted for half of the sacred flame ranking. The combined power of these flames was enough to rival the Water Child throne. But whether this fusion could reach the level of a quasi-divine technique, no one knew. As he spoke, Xiao Yan's hands began to surge with the 8-colored sacred flame, rising slowly like a blazing sun. The 9-colored sacred flame within his body was also summoned, climbing alongside it. 17 brilliant fire halos gently circled around Xiao Yan's body, making him appear like an eternal emperor embraced by flames. This is the fusion of sacred flames? Lord, you must think this through. Watching Xiao Yan's wild fusion, many of the loyalists from the Water Sprout sacred clan in the passageway looked uneasy, with fear beginning to spread among them. Xiao Yan of the Boundless Fire Domain, who had already made Sacred Flame Fusion one of his trump cards, was now fusing an unprecedented 17 sacred flames. Don't panic, what a disgrace. I refuse to believe he can merge so many sacred flames. Water Curtain, corrupting heaven realm. In an instant, Water Child throne ceased hesitating, stepping heavily onto the evil heavenly river. A voice that shook the heavens and earth echoed, reverberating across the space. At this moment, Water Child's heart also harbored some unease. But he had underestimated Xiao Yan's abilities. With the Flame God's cauldron in hand, merging 17 sacred flames was child's play for Xiao Yan. Even if he were to merge all the sacred flames, it would be no trouble at all. Suddenly, a massive gap appeared in the evil, heavenly river in the sky. Countless waves of dark power shot down towards Xiao Yan, pouring into him like an unstoppable flood. Endless evil power formed a heaven-shaking evil waterfall, countless black dots and rays combining into a vast death net, surrounding Xiao Yan from all sides. 3 distinct forces were ready to strike, waiting to deliver a fatal blow. Fuse for me. Even in the face of such a crisis, Xiao Yan's lips curled into an expression of defiant pride. As the flame mantra activated within him, the 17 sacred flames began to merge before the eyes of countless powerful beings. As for Water Child's devastating attack, Xiao Yan seemed not to intend to defend at all. Rather, he seemed to have another plan in mind. He doesn't seem to be planning to defend against Lord Shui Zhi's attack. Could he be trying to intercept Lord Shui Zhi's attack by himself? Impossible. Lord Shui Zhi's attack is nearly at the quasi-divine technique level. The supreme destructive power contained within it, even an 8th reincarnation peak powerhouse could not resist with just their physical strength. Loud, chattering voices filled the passage, but most of those speaking were at the 7th to 3rd reincarnation stages, unable to interfere with such a terrifying battle. They could only watch in silence as this earth-shattering conflict unfolded. As Xiao Yan continued his fusion, almost every evil creature in the vicinity felt shaken. The temperature of the entire world became overwhelmingly hot, and even the evil heavenly river created by Water Child was now surrounded by flames, its power boiling within. At this moment, Xiao Yan was enveloped by the 17 sacred flames, his figure grand and magnificent. He seemed to have transcended the mortal body, becoming a true emperor of flames. The 17 colored flames roared violently, turning the world into an everlasting sea of scorching fire. Within this firestorm, any attempt to resist Xiao Yan, even with a trace of rebellion in the heart, would instantly be scorched by the holy flames that spread from within, burning their souls and spirits. Xiao Yan was the true ruler of this sea of flames. Even Water Child's supreme evil power seemed to dim in comparison. Drip, drip. The evil water curtain from the heavenly river began to tilt and drip, slowly surrounding Xiao Yan. Each drop of ink-black rain fell around Xiao Yan, causing the very space around him to shimmer with blinding white mist. The evil net began to slowly close in, attempting to trap Xiao Yan completely so that the evil water curtain could deliver a killing blow. At the same time, the death rays drew closer, attempting to slice Xiao Yan into countless pieces. Any one of these 3 attacks would be enough to reduce Xiao Yan to dust. But this was Xiao Yan. Dragon God transformation. Roar, roar. roar. In an instant, the dragon god transformation's 1st to 7th forms were unleashed, and the supreme dragon blood of the golden dragon king within Xiao Yan boiled. Together with the power of the dragon god transformation, his body was reinforced, becoming as unshakable as an iron wall. As Xiao Yan's voice fell, Water Child Throne, standing far off, began to show a solemn expression. Looking at Xiao Yan, surrounded by endless flames, a hint of caution surfaced in his eyes. Now, he couldn't help but regret his impulsiveness. But the arrow was already on the bowstring, and there was no turning back. Dragon God transformation? In the passage, the core member of the sacred clan watched the Golden Dragon King and Baxia Dragon King's illusory images atop Xiao Yan's body, radiating supreme majesty. However, a growing sense of unease began to spread within his heart. If Shui Zhi's sacred throne could face off against Xiao Yan, who wielded 17 sacred flames, what would happen if Xiao Yan also unleashed the power of Dragon God transformation? With multiple powers enhancing Xiao Yan, how could he possibly be defeated? For a moment, a wave of shock and fear filled their hearts. The leader of the Endless Flame Alliance, descendant of the Xiao clan, truly lives up to his reputation. Let's see who's stronger then. Kill him. At this moment, Shui Zhi's sacred throne sensed a deep unease, and with a heavy grasp, 3 world-destroying attacks surged like enormous waves, hurling themselves toward Xiao Yan in an endless barrage. First, an evil black dot-formed sky-reaching net surged forward with the power of thunder, charging at Xiao Yan. The surrounding void darkened ominously. If Xiao Yan were to be suppressed here, it could be incredibly dangerous. The death ray carried countless emotional fluctuations from humans. If it were to engulf Xiao Yan, it would immediately control his mind with the overwhelming bitterness of countless voices full of resentment. The final attack was the corruptive heavenly water screen force from the heavenly river, blending water and evil forces. This attack even contained the origin power of Shui Zhi's sacred throne, which was nearly impossible for an ordinary person to resist. Each of these attacks contained power far beyond the demigod level, and for Xiao Yan, this situation was undoubtedly a tremendous challenge. Faced with such earth-shattering attacks, Xiao Yan remained motionless. His hand slowly lifted, and the rebellious sacred flame, after Xiao Yan had acquired the flame god's cauldron, suddenly became gentle and obedient. An ancient fire cauldron shielded the 3 reincarnation tombs behind him, allowing the endless evil power to strike without budging. After this, Xiao Yan's fusion process accelerated. The resounding demonic resonance filled the heavens and earth as the fire sea around Xiao Yan began to collapse. Waves of pitch-black demonic aura surged from the void. In a mere moment, the evil net had corroded the surrounding tens of thousands of miles of void, turning it into a demonic land. The senior members of the Shui Zhi sacred clan, watching from behind, felt their eyelids twitch. They could clearly sense that Xiao Yan's domain had been completely devoured and corrupted by the evil net. Inside this world thick with evil, only 1 minute was needed to turn Xiao Yan into a demonic creature. But would Xiao Yan just sit back and accept his fate? The sacred clan truly has some depth. Facing the first wave of the evil net's attack, Xiao Yan instead laughed lightly. He raised his arm, protected by the Baxia dragon scales, and waved gently. The power of the Baxia dragon scales, combined with the endless sacred flame breath inside him, surged out. Crack! With a seemingly casual gesture, the colossal evil net began to shatter at an observable speed. Brilliant flames and the azure Baxia dragon scales gleamed with ancient divine power, erupting from all sides, clinging to the evil net. The flames burned fiercely, causing the net to collapse rapidly. The brilliant flames contained countless fire attributes, making them so dangerous that even opponents of the same rank would not dare to touch them. Death Ray. The evil net shattered in an instant, and Shui Zhi's sacred throne's expression darkened. His crimson hand shot forward, pressing down on Xiao Yan. Though the evil net collapsed, a tide of demonic aura erupted from the corrupted land, entangling a death ray the size of an arm. The death ray, tinged with a gray hue, emitted an aura of extreme evil. With a single swipe, It could destroy an entire small world. Golden Dragon King. Shadow. Facing this overwhelming assault, Xiao Yan's smile grew even more intense. The bloodline power of the Golden Dragon King, which had long resided within him, slowly manifested into a golden dragon shadow several meters in length, roaring like a comet towards the death ray. The tiny golden dragon shadow collided with the evil arm, shattering the void as they clashed. In an instant, the world changed color, and the explosive sound of the impact shook the soul, causing everyone to freeze in place. Boom! The massive explosion shook the entire world, sending ripples of evil energy and golden dragon shadows that spread like tidal waves across the land. In the mountains, anywhere the energy tidal waves passed, deep cracks hundreds of meters long appeared, and the entire world teetered on the brink of collapse. The next moment, the earth-shattering explosion sound slowly subsided. Xiao Yan, at the center of the explosive smoke, smiled faintly. He then extended his large palm, and on his hand, a magnificent fire lotus platform gently twisted, radiating endless divine power. The fire lotus platform was about the size of half a head, radiantly colorful, as if it were a divine artifact meticulously carved by a deity, so exquisite it seemed far beyond anything mortal. Upon closer inspection, one could even perceive the boundless mysteries contained within. The fire lotus platform had numerous lotus petals awaiting patiently. Counting carefully, there were a total of 17 lotus petals. In the lotus heart, sheltered by these petals, there was likely an existence even more terrifying than the lotus itself. Guided by the power of the flame control technique, the product of the fusion of 17 holy flames was utterly terrifying. This fluctuation. At this moment, the smile on the face of the water child throne instantly froze. His ominous eyes fixed on the fire lotus platform. The mystery within the fire lotus platform could only be sensed by those of extraordinary strength like him. The 17 lotus petals were formed from 17 holy flames. Ordinary people would consider it a monumental opportunity to possess even one holy flame. Now, 17 holy flames coexisted within Xiao Yan's grasp. Given his control over the holy flames, the power released from this fusion could very well be enough to completely destroy him. The attributes of the holy flames were all distinct. Now, as these 17 flames fused, their power was something that could only be described as earth-shaking. 17 lotus petals, extinguishing will flame heart. The next moment, Xiao Yan slowly raised his hand and hurled it toward the water child throne, who stood atop the heavenly river. As soon as the fire lotus platform was thrown, the surrounding void was scorched and began to tremble. Within moments, it broke through the protective evil forces and reached the water child throne beneath the heavenly river. Under normal circumstances, the water child throne would have ignored such a small fire lotus platform. However, Xiao Yan's technique now made his eyelids twitch violently. Even the evil source within his body was in turmoil. Without a doubt, with Xiao Yan's strength and the power of the 17 holy flames, he could easily threaten even a sacred clan expert. The fusion of 17 holy flames. Such a reckless act, seemingly a madman's move, had actually been fully succeeded by this tiny human before him. Heavenly River's annihilation. At this moment, the water child throne could no longer hold back. His cold voice rang out as his palms struck heavily. The massive demonic Qi Heavenly River immediately cracked open, and countless evil forces rushed downward, forming a gigantic waterfall that obscured the sky and blotted out the sun. Go! The fire lotus platform left his hand, and the brilliant flames swept across, causing the heavenly river to shake and the void to emit the harsh sounds of flames burning. The power surrounding the fire lotus platform instantly evaporated the demonic Qi within this demonic land, greatly weakening the water child throne's powerful destructive strike in the process. Watching this bizarre scene, the water child throne's eyelids twitched violently. Although the corroding heaven waterfall had been eroded and evaporated by most of its power, the water child throne took a deep breath. His entire body seemed to corrode and fall apart like liquid. With my source, I shall bury myself here. Ha ha ha. Boom. Before the water child throne's voice had even faded, his entire body had transformed into a puddle of murky liquid. The heavenly river shattered, the void cracked, and countless crimson demonic beams of evil energy surged from all directions, surrounding the puddle of murky liquid. Within that murky liquid, a grayish eye silently lay. That gray eye seemed like a lifeless object, surrounded by an ominous darkness. Yet, it caused the power of Baxia Dragon King within Xiao Yan's body to surge with overwhelming pressure. It was a condensed form of water attribute power. Bloom. Watching the water child throne's desperate move, Xiao Yan slowly spread his hands and lazily stretched. With the power of 17 holy flames, Xiao Yan was over 90% certain he could wipe this being out right here. No. Compared to the fire Lotus platform, this quiet eye within the murky liquid seemed as insignificant as dust or an ant. Yet, that tiny thing caused the water child throne's fighting spirit to rapidly diminish, and fear began to swell uncontrollably. Moments later, when the fire Lotus platform reached the murky liquid's vicinity, the water formed from the water child throne instantly recoiled. Boundless demonic energy gathered around it, forming a massive demonic shield wall, 100 feet tall. SSSHHH. Boom. Without a word, the fire Lotus platform ignited, emitting a dazzling aura accompanied by an indescribable explosion of divine flames. The entire world seemed to twist with this explosion. The demonic shield wall shattered and evaporated instantly. Even the murky primal liquid scattered under the force of such terrifying destruction, leaving clear signs of collapse. Glub. This mighty being, whose power could rival the top tier among the many sacred clans, was unexpectedly rendered so helpless in Xiao Yan's hands? Ah, you little pest. I swear, I will kill you in this life. Endless, boundless divine flames suddenly surged across the heavens and earth, purging nearly all the demonic aura in their path. In the murky liquid, evil figures were formed, as Shui Zhi, drenched in demonic blood, stood trembling, a mess of injuries. He roared with a voice filled with both fury and fear. Rest assured, you won't get the chance. The water attribute power suits me perfectly. Looking at Shui Zhi, who was in such a sorry state, Xiao Yan smiled slightly, his voice laced with a greedy, murderous intent that only grew stronger. Kill the grass and leave no roots behind. In spring, it will grow again. Do you want to devour us? Let's see if you have the ability to do so. Water Curtain Evil Palace, retreat. Hearing Xiao Yan's righteous-sounding voice, Shui Zhi, whose body was on the brink of collapse, summoned once more a water-based palace, the massive water curtain swirling as though trying to carry away his subordinates and escape. Soul-devouring talisman, heaven-swallowing and earth-devouring. Power of the sacred flame, purify. With Shui Zhi defeated, Xiao Yan would never give him the chance to flee. At this moment, the strength of the four attributes within Xiao Yan, fire and thunder being nearly at their peak thanks to the enhancement of the Sacred Flame and Thunder Emperor's Sacred Codex, had nearly reached its limit. Only water and wood attributes had been slow to progress. Now, Shui Zhi's inner power filled the gaps within Xiao Yan. As for the demonic power, would it backlash? What a joke. A king of flames, armed with countless divine flames, would never be overpowered by mere evil energy. Boom. No matter how hard Shui Zhi struggled, it was all in vain. In the end, he was crushed bit by bit in Xiao Yan's grasp. The vast power of Shui Zhi's entire clan was easily wiped out in Xiao Yan's palm, who now commanded up to 17 types of sacred flame. While he purified the evil energy across the land and absorbed the water essence from Shui Zhi's body, he also guarded the 3 reincarnation light tombs, waiting for the 3 women to fully reincarnate. However, Xiao Yan's expression grew slightly more solemn. Despite absorbing the strength of Shui Zhi's clan, he couldn't seem to break through to the next level in his own power. Although the water attribute had granted him a notable boost. From the intel Xiao Yan had gathered, the evil forces attacking the reincarnation sea were made up of the 3 great sacred clans. The leader of one of these clans possessed terrifying strength. What of the other two? Their power would likely be even more troublesome. The kind of existence that could cover the sky with a single hand. Xiao Yan, even with his current strength, didn't have much confidence against such beings. The difference between the 8th and 9th reincarnation stages seemed small, but Xiao Yan understood that the gap between them was as vast as a chasm, one that even all his sacred flames and divine artifacts couldn't bridge. Although the fusion of 17 sacred flames was incredibly powerful, allowing him to easily defeat Shui Zhi, such an overwhelming fusion technique couldn't be used again for a while within the reincarnation sea. The explosion from the Fire Lotus platform was simply too vast. The endless, dazzling energy rampaged across the land, not only affecting this reincarnation cemetery's void but also extending its reach across countless domains within the reincarnation sea. Meanwhile, the powerful figures gathering under the immortal sacred sovereign and others had already engaged in fierce battle with the second leader of the 3 sacred clans, deep within a strange void of the reincarnation sea. In the deep, pitch-black void of the reincarnation sea, countless top-tier experts struggled to turn their heads, their eyes filled with terror. Clearly, the energy fluctuations from the battle between Xiao Yan and Shui Zhi had completely caught the attention of all the beings within the reincarnation sea. What's happening? In the void, countless experts had gathered. They were divided into 2 main factions. One was led by the immortal sacred sovereign and others, with a sharp elite force numbering nearly 300. The other faction, shrouded in black robes, bore a black, evil cloud emblem, exuding boundless evil. As Xiao Yan and Shui Zhi fought, these 2 factions had already clashed hundreds of times, with neither side gaining an advantage. The battle was evenly matched. My lord, this fluctuation, it's probably from Shui Zhi and the others. Do you think he? From a dark and gloomy abyss, several black-robed figures swirled, their voices filled with concern. This fool. I've told him countless times not to rush to make achievements and commit a grave mistake. Upon hearing his subordinate's words, the leader from the dark abyss snorted coldly. As his low growl echoed, the entire world was filled with an unprecedented sense of fear. Such an aura was simply too powerful. The Water Sprout Sacred Clan is responsible for dealing with the powerful individuals trapped in the reincarnation sea, while the Holy Origin Lord is tasked with intercepting the forces of the allied forces, buying time for the 3 great Saint Clans leader, the Centipede Evil Emperor, though neither of them knows exactly what this person's scheme is. Holy Origin Lord, you can hardly protect yourself, yet you're still concerned about others? Looking at the conversation between the evil figures before him, the immortal sacred sovereign, far in the distance, opened his aging eyes, smiling as he observed them. The previous battle had its pros and cons on both sides. After all, it was merely a test. Meanwhile, several powerful individuals, their strength hovering around the 8th reincarnation stage, stood behind the immortal sacred sovereign, exuding an imposing aura. The so-called Holy Origin Lord, hidden beneath his black robe, had a hideous face, and even his body radiated a terrifying and bizarre energy, constantly shifting. Immortal Sacred Sovereign, the Lord of the ancient heavenly palace. With just a peak 8-fold reincarnation stage, an 8-fold reincarnation stage, and 3 quasi-8th reincarnation stage weaklings, do you think you can defeat me? I am about to step into the half-step 9th reincarnation stage, an invincible powerhouse. I am far beyond your 8-fold reincarnation stage peak. In response to this, the leader of the group, the Holy Origin Lord, waved his black robe. Thick, demonic energy surged in waves, his words dripping with unrivaled pride. Indeed, that is why our purpose today is to follow the order of the center of the human realm and wipe you out completely. Hearing such provocative words, the Lord of the ancient heavenly palace did not get angry. Instead, he turned his palm, revealing a golden scroll. A chilling, ancient aura slowly emanated from the scroll, sending a shiver down one's spine. This aura was naturally meant to deal with these evil powerhouses. To capture us, let the true powerhouses from the center of the human realm come. With you insignificant ones, it's foolish to think you can handle us. Even seeing the golden scroll appear, the Holy Origin Lord remained calm. However, the evil aura surrounding him stirred fiercely, clearly realizing that this scroll was likely a prized artifact from the center of the human realm, specifically designed to deal with them. Enough talk. Let's fight. In an instant, the entire space within the depths of the reincarnation sea erupted into a fierce confrontation between the allied forces and the Holy Origin Lord's faction. As for the Holy Origin Lord, who had nearly touched the threshold of the half-step 9th reincarnation stage, he was confronted by the immortal sacred sovereign and his 5 allies, attempting to erase him from existence. At this moment, when the situation began to spiral out of control, at the very end of the reincarnation sea, there appeared a corridor like a bright mirror. Blood stains filled the air, and at the end of the corridor, there was an extremely bright void. In the center of this void, a withered well stood. Around the well, a figure with a handsome face and an imposing demeanor stood, gazing coldly. In the well, the entire reincarnation sea's landscape was reflected. Even beside this figure, 2 lifeless bodies stood in place. These 2 were strong individuals sent by the center of the human realm and the angel kingdom to guard the reincarnation sea, but now they were already devoid of life. The descendant of the Xiao clan, Xiao Yan, indeed has some strength. Since we cannot completely eradicate the reincarnation powerhouses in the reincarnation sea, we will give you all a stroke of fate. After a moment of contemplation, the figure squinted, looking at the 2 corpses around the withered well with a sinister grin. As he spoke, he twisted his wrist, grabbing the 2 corpses in his hands. Dark evil energy surged as scorpions, centipedes, and other poisonous creatures quietly crawled from his sleeves, slowly opening their blood-red mouths to feast on the angelic wings and the remains of the bodies. Time passed, and the 2 corpses were entirely consumed. Drops of pitch-black liquid fell from the air into the withered well, and through the well's mysterious power, it spread across the entire reincarnation sea. The eerie, strange poison seeped into the already evil-infested reincarnation sea, and yet, no one noticed. A real conspiracy was slowly unfolding at this very moment. Whoosh whoosh. Having absorbed the power of the water sprout sacred clan, the water attribute battle core within me is nearly saturated. My control and usage of the water attribute have reached a new level. But, through my spiritual perception, it seems that something is still missing, preventing the water attribute battle core from taking that crucial step forward. In the void of the reincarnation tomb, Xiao Yan slowly opened his eyes. An energy ripple, like water waves, lingered by his side, his eyes full of confusion. The battle chi-si, the battle core, are the foundations of cultivation. Within Xiao Yan's body, the 4-element battle core, fire, thunder, and water, were already brimming, enhancing his power to terrifying levels. Yet, no matter how much energy he poured into them, he couldn't advance any further. It felt as if something crucial was missing, preventing him from taking that vital step forward. Xiao Yan knew well that if any one of these battle cores could evolve further, his strength would likely reach an entirely new realm. However, the intricacies of the situation were known only to him, and they remained shrouded in mystery. Boom! Just as confusion filled Xiao Yan's heart, the entire reincarnation sea, comprising countless reincarnation cemeteries, suddenly stirred in unison. Waves of evil, dark light descended from the sky, shaking the reincarnation sea to its very core. Through the fluctuating waves of this evil power, a battle of unimaginable scale seemed to be brewing deep within the reincarnation sea. With only the immortal sacred sovereign at the peak of the 8th reincarnation stage, and a few weaker 8th reincarnation stage experts, we probably can't handle the other 2 major sacred clans. Xiao Yan's expression darkened. He immediately left some of his sacred flame power in the Flame God's Cauldron to protect the 3 reincarnation tombs. Then, his speed surged, and he dashed toward the core of the battle. If it weren't for needing to buy time for the 3 women's reincarnation, Xiao Yan wouldn't care whether these people lived or died. But since they were all in the same boat, he naturally couldn't just stand by. Speak. What happened? As Xiao Yan rapidly moved through the void, he questioned the escaping experts, who were fleeing the core of the battlefield like headless chickens. Many of those who fled from the depths of the reincarnation sea were severely wounded, their bodies marked with numerous scars, their expressions twisted with complexity. Clearly, they had endured a battle of epic proportions. Xiao, Domain Lord Xiao? The crowd of people looked frantic, as if they had grasped the last straw for survival, their eyes brimming with tears as they spoke. What exactly happened? Xiao Yan frowned as he saw the evil, nearly impenetrable shackles on these people. The terrifying evil power within them suggested that these individuals were likely no mere peak 8th reincarnation stage experts, but far more formidable and troublesome opponents. Domain Lord Xiao, you don't know. The Human Realm Center appointed the Lord of the Ancient Heavenly Palace as the leader of the Allied forces, gathering the Great Thousand Alliance to attack the extraterritorial evil clans in the Reincarnation Sea. However, when facing the Holy Origin Lord clan of the three great sacred clans, our alliance was nearly wiped out. The Lord of the Ancient Heavenly Palace, Immortal Sacred Sovereign, and others were completely outplayed. Now, the entire Reincarnation Sea is under the control of the extraterritorial forces. The voice from the crowd became choked with emotion, clearly overwhelmed by the devastating battle they had just endured. 5 8th Reincarnation Stage experts, along with hundreds of others, had been utterly powerless against the Holy Origin Lord, as weak as infants in his hands. For them, this was a humiliation they could never erase. Listening to these words, Xiao Yan could only shake his head helplessly. The situation was far more complicated than he had anticipated. If the Allied forces were completely defeated, he would likely be unable to protect the Reincarnation Sea long enough for the three women to complete their reincarnations. Time was of the essence. No, this is clearly a true conspiracy. The three great sacred clans' goal isn't just to wipe out the powerful beings sleeping within the Reincarnation Sea, but to eliminate everyone who came to assist us. This is the extraterritorial clan's revenge, a true declaration of war against the Great Thousand Worlds. The grim voices, laced with despair, subtly spread across their faces, as if only after witnessing the immense power of the Holy Origin Lord did they realize what true dominion meant. Take me there. Even if there is only the smallest chance of survival, we must try with all our might. Xiao Yan suppressed his shock, taking a deep breath. That being surpasses the peak of the 8th reincarnation stage. He can kill anything with a flick of his hand. We have no hope whatsoever. Domain Lord Xiao, kill me instead. I'd rather die than become a puppet of the extraterritorial forces to be controlled at their whim. Moments later, seeing the divine and fiery aura surrounding Xiao Yan, some individuals could no longer bear the torment of the evil shackles and voluntarily asked for death. Though they had escaped the core battlefield, they were already marked by the evil shackles planted by the Holy Origin Lord. These shackles were slowly consuming their lives and corroding their spirits. Without a powerful being to eliminate them, no matter where they went, they would become mere puppets of the extraterritorial forces, controlled at will. The Holy Origin Lord's methods were cruel, killing both the body and the soul, sending shivers down one's spine. Ryup, I have temporarily shielded your minds with the power of the sacred flame. While the corruption from the evil shackles is terrifying, the protection of the sacred flame will prevent it from harming you for a while. Xiao Yan waved his hand, and the 9-colored sacred flames poured into their bodies. When the sacred flame entered his body, those evil shackles, which were like deadly poison, were unexpectedly halted. Where are they now? Take me to them. Xiao Yan's mind was a little heavy as he looked at the human experts behind him, who seemed dazed. He forced a wry smile. At this moment, the entire reincarnation sea was imprisoned. If it weren't for the need to buy time for the reincarnation of the three women, everyone would likely perish here. At the end of the reincarnation sea. Domain Lord Xiao this way. With that, the leading man, whose strength was only at the 7th reincarnation stage, surged forward. His silver thunderous power continuously erased and expelled the evil aura from the void, guiding Xiao Yan forward. Watching Xiao Yan and his companion charge fearlessly into the heart of the battle, the figures of those who had just escaped hesitated for a moment. Then, a resolute determination spread across their eyes. They followed suit. They were powerful beings from the great thousand worlds. Even if they had to die, they would die on the battlefield. How could there be cowards who retreat in the face of battle? If everyone from the great thousand worlds were this weak, who would protect this realm? Boom! At that moment, on the outermost edge of the reincarnation sea, layer upon layer of dark clouds gathered. Thunder rumbled, and a slightly dim figure hovered within.